Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips on how to make this 9 patch. These are little 9 patch that measure about 3.5 inches wide. I'm going to be making it as my session cornerstone. And this is how it begins with some strips that I've already cut. These are very small strips and they're very long. They're a width of fabric, so I cut along them and I just sew them together into sets of strips. So this one is going to be a red, white and red strips, and I am just sewing 1/4 inch away from the edges. I'm not pinning, I'm just doing this all the way with the fabric, and this makes it so much easier to do it strip piecing this way because it's so much faster and you don't have to deal with tiny little squares. So I am using this tape right here to kind of eyeball and make sure that I am doing the the 1/4 inch away from the side. I love this tape. It's easy and removable, and you can actually just put it close by to your machine. So I am using a directional fabric where I have this little mushroom, so you just want to make sure that the mushroom is upright, and then I'm going to make this strip sets. The first set of strip strips is a red, white and red, and then I have another one which is a white, red and white. So just make these 2 strip strips in order for you to make a 9 patches. So I am just going to sew along, and here is my strip set ready to go. So this is a red, white and red, and then we have another one which is white, red and white. So with both of this, I am ready to make my 9 patches. So now I am going to go to my ironing wool mat, and I love this wool mat. It's so small that it's actually easy to kind of move it around. I have it right now next to my sewing machine, and I'm just pressing towards the darker fabric, in this case the red fabric. I am making a couple of these strips and then I'm going to cut it all together. So I am just aligning it, make sure that it's straight along the line. I'm using the lines on the mat itself, and then I'm going to use this fancy ruler, which is a super logi ruler. I love this ruler. One thing about it is that it makes it so much easier to cut strips, especially like in this case I'm doing strip piecing. This makes it so much faster and I don't have to move my ruler. I just put it once and cut away, and I get all these little pieces. Isn't it wonderful? So I absolutely love and highly recommend this one. So this one is a large size and it's suitable to create this kind of things, and you can cut a lot with just one go. So I'm using this portable design board that I made myself. This is not a particular size, but I'm just using leftover cardboards, and I wrapped it in batting and then just put a binding on. I have a tutorial down below, which is Lori Holt's tutorial, where you can create some of these portable boards yourself. And I'm continuing on with some more of those strips just to make more of this little tiny three squares together. Now I don't have to piece all these 3 squares. Imagine having to piece all these tiny little squares if I were to make it the non-strip piecing way. So now I'm cutting the other one set of strips, which is the white, red and white. So this one is going to be my center piece. And once I've got that all together, I am just putting it so that it lays next to each other and easy for me to carry to my sewing machine. So this is why I love this portable board. It makes it easy for me to kind of like carry the pieces from one place to another. So I'm carrying it to my sewing machine and I'm ready to piece this 9 patches. So I am going to be doing a chain piecing, which is my favorite way, and since I've already pressed towards the darker fabric, now I just have to nest the seam and chain piece away. I am setting my machine to the stitch length of 1.8, which is pretty small. But since this is also a small piece, I just want to make sure that the ends are secure. So I am just using the tape guide again, just to make sure that I am sewing 1/4 inch, and I am just chain piecing away. So this is probably a relaxing process for some of us. We do like the process of chain piecing and repeating action, and this is one of the things that you can do while listening to audible book or even listening to relaxing music. So tell me what you like to do while sewing. So this is how it looks like, a long chain piece. I am going to take it off using the thread cutter at my machine, and then I am just going to continue with the last row, which is again just making sure that my mushroom are up the right side. So if you are using directional fabrics, I think this is something that you can put focus on, just to make sure that you do get those directional fabric the right way. Now I'm cutting all the pieces now that it's all done. So I am cutting it using this little thread cutter that I got, and I just put it on one of my clapper. So I like that I have that option to kind of have it away from my machine as well. So now I am going to be pressing, and I like to press my seams in a swirly pattern like this, just because that if I do this, I can turn the 9 patches around and it always match or nested. So this is how I get all my seams to be nesting along from one to another. So once I've pressed the back, I am going to press the front again, and then I am going to put a clapper on it just to make sure that all of them is staying flat. I love this clapper technique. I think it really does make my piecing flatter and nice and crisp. So again, I'm going to show you a little bit how I do this. You do need to kind of like break the stitches at the edges and press, kind of pull it the opposite way. So if you have the bottom and the top part, just pull it the opposite direction and you'll get that kind of a swirly pattern. Again, I am pulling one more piece of design board. I am just putting all of this in tens. So I'm making quite a few, so I just want to make sure that I got enough of that. So I'm just counting and just putting on this design board before the next step, which is going to be putting together all the quilts. This is going to be the cornerstones of the sashing for my quilt. So I just want to make sure that I had enough of this. And that is it. I guess this is some of the tips that I like to share in this video. I hope you kind of enjoy this kind of video, kind of like sew with me and just tagging along with me as I sew. If you do like this kind of video, make sure you click subscribe and turn on the notification button, and I would love to see you again on this channel. So with that, thank you, have a good day, have a lovely quilting time.